You are not late, you are on your own schedule. Close your eyes and listen to the rhythm of your own life, not the noisy tempo of the world. You often feel rushed, watching others pass by while you seem stuck in place, wondering if you missed your chance to shine. This pressure to keep up creates constant anxiety, a fear that your best moments are slipping away forever. Society shouts deadlines for love, careers, and success, as if life were a race with one finish line. But your soul whispers a different truth, a calming reminder that your path unfolds on a different timeline. This book is your permission slip to ignore the shouting and trust the whispering from within your heart. You are not behind. You are traveling a road designed just for you, with scenery only you can appreciate. Let's begin this journey to reclaim your time and celebrate your perfectly paced story. Imagine a symphony where every instrument enters at the perfect moment, not all at once. The violins don't rush the cellos, and the flute waits patiently for its beautiful solo to begin. Your life is that symphony, each part meant to shine when the music calls for it, not when the audience expects. A farmer doesn't harvest tomatoes in spring. They understand deep growth requires specific seasons of sun and rain. You too are in a season of growth, even if you can't see the fruit yet. This book will help you tune your ear to your own music and trust your conductor within. We will explore stories of late blooms and unexpected turns that lead to magnificent views. Get ready to dance to your own rhythm and discover why your timing is always right. Chapter 1: The Great Lie. Everyone else is ahead. The lie creeps in during quiet moments, scrolling through perfect pictures of friends living what seems like dream lives. You see promotions, vacations, and happy families while you face ordinary struggles and unanswered dreams. This feeling is a heavy blanket, smothering your joy and telling you that you are failing somehow. We must tear this blanket off together and see it for what it truly is: an illusion, a trick of comparison. Everyone fights silent battles you know nothing about. Their highlight reel is not their whole story. Your journey has different mountains to climb and different rivers to cross at your own pace. This chapter will free you from the false race and help you see your path clearly again. Lena felt this lie every day working in a small flower shop while her college friends became lawyers and doctors. She loved arranging bouquets but felt small when they discussed big cases and fancy offices. One rainy Tuesday, an elderly man named Mr. Finch entered, asking for a courage bouquet. Intrigued, Lena created one with strong sunflowers and delicate forget-me-nots. He returned weekly, each time requesting a bouquet for a different feeling: hope, peace, memory. Months later, Lena discovered Mr. Finch was a retired war journalist who had seen the worst of the world. Her bouquets, he said, were his way back to beauty, each one healing a piece of his soul. Lena realized then that her small shop wasn't small at all. It was a harbor of healing, a purpose she would have missed on a faster, louder path. Comparison steals your present joy by making you live in someone else's past or future. Your brain tricks you into believing you see the whole movie of their life when you only see a happy trailer. You compare your messy kitchen to their clean dining room picture, forgetting they quickly hid the mess just off camera. This habit drains your energy and leaves you feeling empty, always chasing a shadow you can never catch. But the truth is simple: a different path cannot be measured on your map. A boat does not judge its speed against a car. They move through different worlds entirely. Your progress is measured in personal growth, lessons learned, and small joys collected, not in milestones made for others. Now let's build your defense against this lie with practical, powerful tools. Start a joy journal and each night, write 3 things that went right in your day, however tiny. This trains your brain to spot your own wins. Next, practice the elsewhere, not ahead rule. When you see someone's success, say, "They are elsewhere on their path, not ahead on mine." Curate your social media boldly. Unfollow accounts that trigger envy and follow ones that inspire your personal dreams. Fill your mind with stories of diverse journeys, people who found love at 50 or started a career at 60. Your mental space is a garden. You must pull the weeds of comparison to let your own flowers grow tall and bright. Finally, define what forward motion truly means for your heart, not your resume. Ask yourself, what makes me feel truly alive and peaceful? Is it creating, helping, exploring, or building deep connections? Write these values down. They are your true compass. Now look at your week. Did you choose patience with your child? That's a step in kindness. Did you learn a new fact? That's a step in growth. These are real victories on your unique path. Celebrate them with a smile, a treat, or a happy dance in your kitchen. You are moving every single day in ways that matter deeply to the story of you. Let's walk your path with pride, knowing every step is right on time. Chapter 2. Map your journey, don't trace theirs. From a young age, we are given a standard life map. Go to school, get a job, get married, buy a house. It feels safe to follow this well-worn path, to color inside the lines society has drawn for us. But what if your adventure lies outside the borders of that familiar map? What if your heart longs for forests and mountains that don't even appear on that paper? This chapter is about becoming the brave explorer of your own destiny. We will learn that true excitement begins when you dare to draw your own map with the compass of your passion. Your dreams are the legend, your values are the directions, and your curiosity is the vehicle that will take you there. Kai worked as a city accountant, his life a straight line of numbers and spreadsheets, tracing his father's career path exactly. He felt a constant, quiet ache for something more, something he couldn't name. One summer, he took a volunteer trip to build trails in a national park. His job was to clear rocks, but he kept finding beautiful, strange-shaped stones. On a whim, he stacked a few into a small, balanced tower. A passing hiker stopped, mesmerized. "That's art," she whispered. Kai continued, building delicate stone sculptures that seemed to defy gravity along the new trail. By summer's end, people were taking detours just to see his trail art. He didn't become a famous sculptor, but he discovered a part of his soul that loved creating temporary beauty. He returned to the city, but now he saw his life not as a line to trace, but as a landscape to shape. A borrowed map leads to a destination meant for someone else, leaving you lost in a place that doesn't feel like home. The pressure to follow the crowd is loud, but the whisper of your own desire is your truest guide. Think of your interests that you set aside as silly or impractical. Those are often your map's first clues. Your map might include detours, roundabouts, and scenic routes that others would call inefficient. Those are the places where you find yourself, learn your strength, and collect your best stories. Drawing your own map is an act of courage, a declaration that you trust yourself more than outside opinions. It is the ultimate adventure, and it starts with a single question. What do I truly want to experience before my story is done? Let's start sketching your map today with simple, joyful exercises. Find a large piece of paper and some colorful pens. This is your draft. In the center, draw a star and write "Me right now." Now draw lines outward like rays of sunshine. On each ray, write a dream, big or small. Learn guitar, visit the ocean, build a garden, write a poem. Don't judge, just write. These are your potential directions. Next, think of your heroes, real or fictional. What qualities do you admire in them? Courage, kindness, creativity. Write those on the edges as the landmarks you want to visit on your journey. This map is not a contract. It's a living document of your heart's desires. Look at it often and feel the excitement of possibility. Your personal map needs fuel, and that fuel is action taken from a place of curiosity, not pressure. Choose one small dream from your map, the easiest, most fun one to start. Want to paint? Buy a small set of watercolors and play for 15 minutes. Want to cook? Find one new recipe and make it this week. The goal is not mastery. The goal is to feel the joy of moving in a direction you chose. Each small action is like adding a new, detailed drawing to your map, making it more real and vibrant. You will face doubt. The old, safe map will call to you. When it does, look at your colorful creation and remember, a traced life is a photocopy, but a drawn life is an original masterpiece. Embrace the fact that your map will change, and that's its greatest strength. As you grow, new dreams will appear and old ones might fade. That's perfect. The traveler who rigidly follows an old map misses new roads and beautiful, unseen villages. Your job is to be a gentle, observant cartographer of your own soul, updating your route with kindness. Celebrate when you add a new destination or when you realize a path no longer calls to you. This flexible, living map is a testament to your growth. It proves you are alive, learning, and boldly navigating the wonderful, winding adventure of becoming yourself. The world awaits the unique story only your map can tell. Chapter 3: Detours are not dead ends. Life rarely moves in a straight line from point A to point B, no matter how carefully we plan. A detour feels like a frustrating roadblock, a sign that we have failed or made a wrong turn. We sigh, grip the wheel, and feel our schedule crumbling away. But what if these detours are not mistakes at all? What if they are secret routes designed to teach us, strengthen us, and show us views we never planned to see? This chapter will shift your view of unexpected turns. We will learn to see detours as necessary parts of the journey, rich with hidden gifts and essential lessons. The most interesting stories are never about a smooth, boring drive on a straight highway. Maria's dream was to be a professional dancer, and for years her life was a straight line of rehearsals and auditions. Then a slip on a wet floor led to a torn ligament, a surgery, and a doctor saying she might never dance the same way again. Her straight line shattered. In deep sadness, she began teaching simple movement to seniors at a community center to feel connected to dance. One woman, Grace, had severe arthritis but loved the music. Maria adapted, creating gentle chair-based dances. She saw joy light up faces that mobility issues had darkened. Maria never returned to the professional stage. Instead, she founded a nonprofit called Rhythm for All, bringing adapted dance to people with disabilities. Her painful detour didn't end her journey. It led her to a purpose more profound than any solo performance. When you face a detour, a lost job, a broken heart, a failed plan, your first feeling is often grief for the lost path. This is normal and human. Allow yourself to feel that disappointment, but don't build a house there. After the sigh, look around. Detours force you to slow down, to notice details you would have missed at high speed. They build resilience muscles you didn't know you had, teaching you that you can handle surprises. Think of a river blocked by a rock. It doesn't stop. It finds a new way around, often creating a beautiful, babbling brook in the process. You are that river, powerful and adaptable. The rock is not your end. It's the start of a new, perhaps more interesting course for your flow. Let's find the gifts hidden in your past detours with a reflective exercise called the Detour Treasure Hunt. Take your journal and think of 3 big unexpected turns in your life, the ones that felt like failures at the time. For each one, ask, what skill did I learn because of it? Patience, problem solving. Who did I meet that I wouldn't have known? How did it make me stronger or wiser? You will be amazed at the treasures you uncover. That job you lost led you to a better one. That move you didn't want introduced you to your best friend. This practice rewires your brain to see obstacles as potential openings. It turns your history from a list of setbacks into a map of hidden blessings. Now let's build a detour kit for the future so you can meet surprises with strength, not fear. Your kit has 3 tools. Tool 1 is a mantra. This is a redirect, not a rejection. Say it when plans fall apart. Tool 2 is a curiosity question. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this trying to show me? This simple shift opens your mind to learning. Tool 3 is a small next step. When stuck, don't demand a new life plan, just decide the next tiny action. Feeling lost after a breakup, the step is just text one friend today. Your kit reminds you that you are the navigator, even when the road signs change. Finally, embrace the power of your detour story. Your unique path with all its twists and turns is what makes you interesting and empathetic. People connect to real struggles and comebacks, not to perfect smooth tailies. When you share your true story, you give others permission to be imperfect and keep going. Your detours have given you wisdom no straight path could provide. Wear them as badges of courage, not scars of shame. They prove you have lived, adapted, and grown. The most beautiful and durable trees are the ones that weathered the strongest winds. They have the deepest roots and the most character. You are that tree, and every detour has contributed to your unshakable strength. Chapter 4. Your Pace, Your Power. We live in a world that worships speed, hustling from goal to goal without a breath in between. This constant rush makes us believe that faster always means better, and that slowing down is a sign of weakness or laziness. But your natural rhythm is your superpower, the steady beat that keeps you healthy, creative, and truly productive. Trying to sprint a marathon will only leave you burned out and lost. This chapter is about discovering and honoring your personal pace. We will learn that sustainable progress comes from moving with your energy, not against it. Your power doesn't come from keeping up. It comes from knowing when to walk, when to rest, and when to run your own race. Jake ran a small online bakery, obsessed with the hustle culture he saw online. He pushed himself to launch new products weekly, stay open 24/7, and never take a day off. He was moving fast, but he was miserable, and his cookies started to taste like stress. Exhausted, he visited his grandmother in the countryside. He watched her make her famous berry pies. She moved slowly, patiently rinsing each berry, humming as she rolled the crust. "The oven has its own temperature, dear," she said, noticing his frantic energy. "The berries need their time to sweeten. Rushing ruins the flavor." Jake returned home and changed his model. He offered fewer items, closed on Sundays, and focused on perfecting his recipes. Orders slowed, then doubled as people tasted the love and care in every bite. His power was in the patience, not the pace. Your body and mind send clear signals when you're moving at a wrong, rushed pace. Constant tiredness, irritation, lack of focus, and loss of joy are red flags. They are not signs you are failing, they are signs you are off rhythm. Think of your energy like the seasons. There are times for spring planting, starting projects, summer growth, hard work, autumn harvest, reaping rewards, and winter rest, recharging. You cannot harvest in winter or plant in autumn. Forcing yourself to be in summer mode all year round leads to inner drought. Honoring your pace means listening to these internal seasons. It means giving yourself permission to have a slow day, a deep work day, or a full rest day without guilt. Let's discover your true rhythm with the Pace Finder experiment. For 1 week, carry a small notebook. 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening, simply write one word for your energy: peak, steady, or drain. Also note what you were doing. At week's end, look for patterns. Do you have creative energy in the quiet mornings? Do social tasks drain you by afternoon? This is your personal rhythm data. Now plan your next week differently. Schedule important, demanding tasks for your peak times. Put easy, routine tasks in your steady times. Protect your drain times with rest or very gentle activities. This is not lazy, it is strategic. It is working with yourself, not against yourself. Protecting your pace requires gentle but firm boundaries, especially with people who value speed over sustainability. Learn to say, "I'm working at a pace that lets me do my best work," or "I need to step back to recharge so I can come back stronger." You don't need to apologize for respecting your own energy. Create daily and weekly rituals that anchor your rhythm. A quiet morning coffee, a walk without your phone, a tech-free hour before bed. These rituals are like guardrails on your personal highway, keeping you from veering into the dangerous lanes of burnout and hurry. Your time is your life. Spend it at a speed that lets you enjoy the scenery. Finally, remember that a consistent, gentle pace always wins over frantic sprints and crashes. The tortoise didn't win because he was slow. He won because he was steady and never quit. Your small, daily actions, done at a pace you can sustain, build incredible results over time. Writing 1 page a day finishes a book in a year. Walking 15 minutes a day transforms your health. Compare yourself only to who you were yesterday, not to someone else's today. Your power grows in the quiet space of your own consistent effort. When you move at your true pace, you build a life that is not just productive, but peaceful, joyful, and truly your own. That is the ultimate power. Chapter 5. The Quiet Strength of the Late Bloomer. In a garden, we often admire the first bright tulips of spring, but what about the majestic sunflower that towers in late summer? Or the chrysanthemum that brings fiery color to autumn? The late bloomer has a special strength. It gathers resources, builds deep roots, and blooms with a confidence that early flowers never need. In life, being a late bloomer is not a flaw, it's a different kind of strategy. This chapter celebrates the power of those who find their calling, love, or confidence not first, but in their own perfect time. Their stories are not about catching up, but about magnificent, well-timed arrivals that change everything. Arthur worked in a quiet library for 40 years, a man of routine who seemed perfectly ordinary. At 65, he retired, and his colleagues wondered what he would do with all that empty time. Arthur went home, to a small shed in his backyard no one had ever seen inside. He opened the doors and brought out a dozen exquisite, hand-carved wooden clocks. Not just any clocks, they were marvels of art, with moving animals, singing birds, and planets that orbited. He had been designing and carving them in secret, one piece at a time, for decades. He opened a tiny shop, and people came from far away to see the clockwork wizard. Arthur wasn't late. He had been in a long, beautiful process of becoming. His mastery needed every single one of those quiet years. Society's spotlight shines brightly on young prodigies and early achievers, making the rest of us feel invisible. But the spotlight is hot and fleeting, often burning out what it illuminates. The late bloomer grows in the rich, fertile soil of patience and lived experience. You have gathered years of wisdom, resilience, and self-knowledge that no young star possesses. Your blooms are informed by seasons of struggle and sun, making them more complex, more fragrant, and more durable. Your timing allows you to appreciate the bloom fully, not rush past it to the next thing. The world needs your kind of beauty, the kind that knows its worth and isn't afraid to take its time. If you feel you are blooming later than others, it's time to reframe your story with pride. Make a list of the advantages your timing has given you. Maybe you have more financial stability now to chase a dream. Perhaps you have a clearer sense of self, so you won't waste time on paths that don't fit. You likely have stronger coping skills to handle setbacks. Your late start means you begin with a full toolkit that others had to build along the way, often painfully and publicly. Your journey is not a delayed version of theirs. It's a smarter, more self-aware version of your own. You didn't waste time. You were investing in the foundation. Let's cultivate your blooming with intention. First, shed the idea that it's too late for anything. The only time that is truly too late is never starting. Choose one area where you want to bloom: learning, creating, loving, leading. Now adopt the mindset of a gardener, not a racehorse. Plant your seed, take the first class, have the first conversation. Water it consistently, practice regularly. Protect it from weeds, doubt, comparison. Then, be patient. Trust the underground work you cannot see. Your roots are spreading, gathering nutrients from all your past experiences. When you finally break the surface and bloom, it will be with a force and beauty that takes everyone's breath away, especially your own. Share your late blooming story. It is a torch in the darkness for others. When you talk about starting a business at 50 or finding love at 60, you shatter invisible cages for people who feel trapped by time. Your existence is proof that deadlines are human-made, not life-made. Find communities, online or local, of people on similar timelines. There is immense comfort and power in a garden of late bloomers, all encouraging each other's growth. Your quiet strength, when shared, becomes a roaring chorus of hope. It says, "Look at me, I'm still growing, and so can you." Your bloom is not just for you. It is a signal to the world that it's never, ever too late. Finally, understand that a late bloom often becomes a perennial, returning stronger and more beautiful every cycle. While early blooms might fade after a single season, your deep roots ensure you come back year after year, spreading your influence wider. Your legacy is not a one-time show, but a lasting garden. Embrace the unique timeline of your life's flora. Your summer might be someone else's autumn, and that's perfectly magnificent. The quiet strength you have built is unshakable. So stand tall in your field, face the sun, and open your petals wide. The world has been waiting for the unique beauty that only you, in your own time, can bring. Chapter 6. Ignore the noise, tune into your voice. The world is a noisy place, full of opinions, advice, and demands shouting for your attention every day. This noise can become so loud that it drowns out the most important sound of all, your own inner voice. That voice is your true guide, your compass for happiness, yet we often silence it to please others or fit in. This chapter is about learning to turn down the volume of the world and turn up the signal of your soul. We will practice filtering out the static of outside expectations so you can hear your own wisdom clearly. Your inner voice knows your path. It's time to start listening and trusting its quiet, sure directions. Alina was known in her family as the pleaser, always adjusting her plans to meet their expectations. She studied law because her father was a judge, though she loved graphic design. She dated a suitable man her mother approved of, though she felt no spark. Her life was a checklist of other people's noise. One day, tasked with cleaning the attic, she found her childhood treasure box. Inside were sketches of fantastical creatures, stories she'd written, and a faded ribbon from an art contest she'd won at 10. At the bottom was a note in her own childish handwriting: "When I grow up, I will make beautiful things." Sitting in the dusty attic, Alina heard her inner voice for the first time in years, a soft, sad whisper asking, "When?" That moment began her quiet rebellion back to herself. External noise comes in many forms: critical comments, social media envy, cultural shoulds, and even well-meaning but misguided advice. This noise creates static in your mind, leading to confusion, anxiety, and choices that feel wrong in your gut. Your inner voice, in contrast, doesn't shout. It speaks in feelings, a sense of rightness, a spark of excitement, a gut feeling of no. It speaks through your energy, draining you when you go against it and filling you up when you align with it. Learning to distinguish the loud, frantic noise from the calm, steady voice is your most crucial skill. The noise pushes you toward others' goals. Your voice pulls you gently toward your own peace. Let's begin your listening training with a daily exercise called 2 minutes of quiet. Find a calm space, set a timer, and simply sit. Let the thoughts and noises come, the to-do list, the worries, the opinions, but imagine them as clouds floating by. Don't grab them, just watch them pass. After the noise clouds drift, see if you can sense a quieter space beneath them. That's the frequency of your inner voice. Ask a simple question: what do I need today? Not what your boss or family needs, but you. Listen for the first gentle feeling or thought that arises, maybe rest, play, or fresh air. This practice is like muscle training for your intuition. It gets stronger with every session. Now build your noise filter for everyday life. When faced with a decision or overwhelmed by opinions, pause, place your hand on your heart and take 3 deep breaths. Ask yourself, if no one would judge me, what would I choose? The answer that brings a sense of relief or expansion is your voice. Write down the loudest shoulds in your life and challenge them. Who says you should? Does that align with your values? Create physical space for your voice to speak. A morning walk without podcasts, a notebook for your unfiltered thoughts, tech-free hours. Your voice needs silence to be heard. Protect that silence fiercely. As you practice, you'll start to recognize your voice's unique tone. It is kind, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, and feels like truth. It never insults you or makes you feel small. The noise is often fearful, urgent, and critical. The more you act on your inner voice's gentle prompts, the more confident it becomes. Start with small choices. Choose the meal you want, watch the movie you like, say no to a small request that drains you. Each small act is a vote for yourself, telling your psyche that your voice matters. This builds a powerful self-trust that drowns out the noise naturally. You become the authority of your own life. Finally, understand that tuning into your voice is a lifelong practice, not a one-time fix. Some days the noise will be loud and you'll feel lost. That's okay. Gently guide your attention back. Your inner voice is your true home and you can always return. When you live led by this voice, your choices become more authentic, your energy rises, and your path feels uniquely yours. You stop living on autopilot, reacting to every external signal, and start living with purpose and peace. The world's noise will always be there, but it will sound like distant traffic, not a command in your ear. You are the conductor of your life's symphony, and your inner voice holds the sheet music. Chapter 7. Small Steps, Giant Leaps. We often stare at the distant mountain peak of our biggest dreams and feel overwhelmed. The gap between where we are and where we want to be seems impossible to cross, so we don't take the first step. We wait for a magic moment, a huge burst of motivation, or a perfect plan. But a giant leap is just an illusion. Every massive achievement is actually a chain of small, ordinary steps. This chapter breaks down the myth of the overnight success. We will master the art of the small step, the tiny action that feels easy to do but builds unstoppable momentum over time. Your future is built not in leaps, but in the steps you take today. Ben dreamed of hiking the entire Appalachian Trail over 2,000 miles. He was a desk worker out of shape and the dream felt ridiculous. Instead of focusing on the whole map, he bought a small notebook. On day one, his goal was simply to walk for 15 minutes after work. He wrote day 1, done, in the book. The next day, 20 minutes. He added small steps, research good boots, pack a practice backpack. Each tiny task got a checkmark. Months later, the steps grew. Walk 5 miles on Saturday, try a one-night camping trip. His notebook filled with hundreds of small dones. 2 years after his first 15-minute walk, he stood at the trail's SOUTHER Chinese letter. He didn't leap there. He stepped there, one checkmark at a time, until the impossible became his reality. The power of small steps lies in their psychology. A small step is not scary. It feels manageable and easy to start. Starting is the hardest part, and a tiny action tricks your brain past resistance. Each completed step releases a drop of dopamine, the feel-good chemical, making you want to take another. This creates a positive feedback loop of action and reward. Over time, these steps compound like interest in a savings account. Walking 15 minutes a day leads to running a 5K. Writing one paragraph a day becomes a book. Small steps are also forgiving. If you miss a day, you just take a small step again tomorrow. There is no dramatic failure, only gentle, consistent progress. Let's apply this to your biggest dream right now. Take out a piece of paper. At the top, write your dream in simple words. Run a marathon, start a business, learn a language. Now draw a line down the middle. On the left, list every huge, scary step you think you need to take. On the right, we will break them down. Run a marathon becomes: 1. Buy good running shoes. 2. Walk 10 minutes tomorrow. 3. Find a beginner's training plan online. 4. Run for 1 minute, walk for 4, repeat 3 times. C. The right column is all non-scary, doable this week steps. Your only job is to focus on the next single item on the right column. Ignore the rest. This is how you eat an elephant, one tiny, deliberate bite at a time. Your secret weapon is consistency, not intensity. It is far better to practice your language app for 10 minutes daily than to study for 5 hours once and burn out. Create tiny rituals that anchor your steps. Want to write? Commit to writing 3 sentences with your morning coffee. Want to get fit? Do 5 stretches right after you brush your teeth. Link your new tiny step to an existing habit. This is called habit stacking, and it works wonders. Use a calendar or app to track your streak of small wins. Seeing an unbroken chain of checkmarks becomes a motivation in itself. You won't want to break the chain. This is the quiet, daily magic that builds empires. Celebrate your small steps fiercely. They are the true victories. Did you make the scary phone call? Celebrate with your favorite tea. Did you finish the first draft of your resume? Do a happy dance. These celebrations rewire your brain to associate effort with joy, not pain. They transform the journey from a grueling march into a series of small, happy parties. Share your small wins with a supportive friend who will cheer for your 1-minute run as if it were the marathon itself. This positive reinforcement fuels your next step. Remember, you are not behind. Every single step, no matter how small, is moving you forward on your schedule. The distance doesn't matter, the direction does. Finally, trust the process of accumulation. You will have days where you can't see progress, where the peak still looks far away. On those days, look back at your list of small steps completed. See how far you've come from the person who hadn't even bought the shoes or written the first sentence. The small steps have changed you already. They have made you a person who takes action. Momentum is a physical law. An object in motion stays in motion. Your tiny actions keep you in motion, and motion inevitably leads to new views, new opportunities, and giant leaps that happen almost without you noticing. You wake up one day and realize the mountain is beneath your feet. You got there one small, perfect step at a time. Chapter 8. Your past is a teacher, not a jailer. We all carry a backpack from our past, filled with memories both bright and heavy. Too often, we let the weight of old mistakes, regrets, and pains define who we are today. We drag this backpack like a ball and chain, letting it dictate our speed and direction. But your past is not a life sentence. It is the richest classroom you will ever have. This chapter is about unpacking that backpack with kindness. We will learn to examine the heavy items, learn their lessons, and then set them down so you can walk forward freely. Your history made you wise, but it should not hold you hostage. You are the student and the graduate, ready to use your hard-earned knowledge for a brighter future. Clara held onto a decade-old regret like a dark jewel. At 22, she had turned down a scholarship to a prestigious art school to stay close to a boyfriend who left her a year later. She saw that choice as the fork where her real life ended. She worked a job she disliked, always telling herself, "I ruined my chance." One day, her niece asked her to help paint a mural at the local youth center. Reluctantly, Clara agreed. As she showed teens how to mix colors and sketch shapes, she felt a long-dead spark flicker. A shy girl said, "You're such a good teacher." That night, Clara looked at her old regret differently. That mistake had given her life experience, resilience, and a deep understanding of sacrifice, qualities that made her an empathetic teacher. Her past didn't ruin her. It prepared her for a different, meaningful form of art. Holding onto past pain is like reading the same tragic chapter of a book over and over, convinced it's the whole story. But you are the author and you can turn the page. Regret and shame keep you trapped in a moment that is already gone. They are useless emotions unless you mine them for their lesson. Ask of your past, what did this teach me about what I need, about what I value, about my own strength? The answer is the gift. That failed relationship taught you your boundaries. That career misstep taught you what you truly enjoy. The past is data, not destiny. It informs your next choice. It doesn't have to make it for you. A sailor uses the wake to correct the steering, not to sail backwards. Let's begin a gentle process of learning from, then releasing the past. Start with a letter of release. Write a letter to your past self, to a person who hurt you, or to the situation itself. Pour out all the anger, sadness, and regret. Say everything you've held inside. Then do not send it. Instead, safely burn it in a sink or fireplace, or tear it into tiny pieces. This ritual symbolizes that the emotion has been acknowledged and is now being transformed. The lesson remains. The heavy pain can leave. Next, practice reframing. For every past failure, write down one skill it forced you to develop or one truth it revealed about yourself. This turns anchors into tools. Forgiveness is the master key to this chapter, and it starts with yourself. You were doing the best you could with the knowledge and tools you had at the time. You are wiser now, so of course old choices look flawed. Forgive that younger version of you. They were learning. Speak to yourself with the kindness you'd offer a dear friend who made a mistake. Forgiving others is not about saying what they did was okay. It's about declaring that their actions no longer have power to hurt your present. It is setting down their heavy baggage from your backpack. You do this for your own freedom, not for them. This forgiveness is a daily practice, a choice to stop paying interest on a debt from the past. Now actively use your past as a wise guide for present decisions. When faced with a choice, ask, what did my past teach me about a situation like this? Did a rushed decision cause stress? Now you choose to pause. Did you stay in a job that drained you? Now you listen to your energy signals. Your past experiences have given you a personalized guidebook for navigating life. Honor that wisdom by acting on it. This turns your history from a source of shame into a source of power. You are no longer a prisoner repeating old patterns. You are a seasoned traveler using past maps to avoid old swamps and find new oases. Finally, understand that a light backpack lets you move with grace and speed into your future. The lessons are integrated. The pain is composted into fuel for growth. Your past becomes a library you can visit for reference, not a prison you live in. When you tell your story now, you will tell it not as a victim, but as a survivor and a student. This changes everything: your posture, your confidence, your light. You are not defined by what happened to you, but by what you learned and how you grew. Your past was the training ground. Today is the first day of the main event. Walk forward, teacher, and use all you've learned to build a life that makes your history proud. Chapter 9: The Unshakable You, Building Confidence from Within. Confidence often feels like a mysterious prize given only to the lucky few, those born with talent, beauty, or charisma. We look for it in external validation, likes, promotions, compliments. But this kind of confidence is fragile, shattering at the first sign of criticism or failure. Real, unshakable confidence is built from the inside out. It is the deep knowing that you can handle what comes, that you are worthy regardless of outcome. This chapter is your construction manual for building that inner fortress. We will move from seeking approval to generating self-assurance. Your worth is not up for a vote. It is a fact you choose to believe and act upon every day. David was a talented public speaker, but only when the audience was friendly. One harsh comment or a single bored face would unravel his entire talk. His confidence was a house of cards. His mentor gave him a strange assignment: to intentionally give a bad speech at a small, informal club. David did, fumbling his words and forgetting points. To his shock, the world didn't end. People still chatted with him afterwards. His mentor asked, "What did you learn?" David realized, "I survived, I'm still me." That began his new practice. Before each speech, he'd say to himself, "My job is to share an idea, not to be perfect. I can handle whatever happens." He stopped fishing for applause and started speaking from conviction. His confidence became about his mission, not his reception. External confidence is like painting a building to look strong. Inner confidence is about pouring a solid foundation and steel frame. The frame is built from self-knowledge and self-trust. You build it by keeping promises to yourself. When you say you'll go for a walk and you do, you trust yourself a tiny bit more. When you set a boundary and honor it, your self-respect grows. This has nothing to do with anyone else's opinion. It's the quiet agreement between you and you. This foundation makes you resilient. Failure becomes feedback, not identity. Criticism becomes perspective, not truth. You become the source of your own security, and that is an unshakable place to stand. Let's lay your foundation with the integrity deposit exercise. Each morning, choose one small, specific promise to yourself for the day. It must be fully within your control. Examples: I will drink a glass of water first thing. I will take a proper lunch break. I will be in bed by 10:30. Write it down. Your only goal for the day is to keep that one promise. At night, acknowledge that you did it. This seems trivial, but it's profound brain training. Every kept promise is a deposit into your bank of self-trust. Over weeks, your balance grows. You start to believe yourself when you set bigger goals. You become someone you can count on, and that belief changes how you walk into every room. Next, we build your inner board of directors. This board is made up of the wisest, kindest, most encouraging versions of people you admire, real, fictional, or even future you. When you face self-doubt, hold a mental meeting. Ask your board, what would you advise? Imagine your kind grandmother saying, "You are capable, my dear." Picture a courageous hero saying, "Do it scared." Hear your own future self saying, "I'm so glad you tried." This technique externalizes your inner wisdom and gives it a voice louder than your inner critic. You begin to parent yourself with the same encouragement you'd offer a child. This builds a supportive inner world that no external negativity can destroy. Now practice acting as if in low-stakes situations. Confidence is a behavior before it's a feeling. If you wait to feel confident to speak up, you may never start. Instead, Choose a safe environment and act as if you are confident for just 5 minutes. Stand a little taller, make slightly more eye contact, state your opinion once. Notice what happens. You'll likely see that the sky doesn't fall. Your body sends signals to your brain that this is safe, and the feeling of confidence begins to follow the action. This is not being fake, it's practicing a skill. Just as you practice an instrument to play a song, you practice confident behaviors to build the feeling. Each small act strengthens your confidence muscle. Finally, detach your worth from outcomes. Unshakable confidence knows that trying and learning is the victory, not just winning. Did you apply for the job? Victory. Did you have the hard conversation? Victory. The result is information, not a verdict on your value. Celebrate your efforts and courage as much as, if not more than, your successes. This mindset makes you fearless. You are willing to try big things because your sense of self is no longer on the line. You are a worthy person who attempts, learns, and grows. That is the core of the unshakable you. From this solid ground, you can build any dream, face any challenge, and know, without a doubt, that you have what it takes. Chapter 10. Celebrating your unique finish line. We reach the final chapter, but this is not about an ending. Life is not a race with one ribbon to break. It's a series of milestones, each worthy of a party. We have been trained to postpone celebration for the big wins, the graduation, the wedding, the promotion. But waiting for those rare events means missing 99% of your life's victories. This chapter is about becoming a master celebrator of your journey right now. We will learn to recognize and honor your unique finish lines, the daily proofs that you are living, growing, and moving forward on your own magnificent schedule. Your life is a collection of moments. Let's make them all count. Myra was a list maker, always focused on the next goal. Finish degree, get job, save money. She achieved each one, checked the box, and immediately looked to the next. She felt strangely empty, like she was on a treadmill. Her wake-up call came from her young neighbor, Lily, who rang her doorbell one afternoon holding a dandelion. "I finished blowing all the seeds off. It was hard work. Let's celebrate," Lily declared. They had tea, juice to mark the occasion. Myra looked at her own pristine checked-off lists and saw no tea parties. She started a new list, wins worth celebrating. The first entry had a calm morning coffee. She celebrated by sitting for an extra 5 minutes. Her life didn't change overnight, but her joy did. She was finally arriving in her own life, one small celebration at a time. A finish line is any point where you choose to acknowledge your effort, growth, or presence. It could be finishing a hard task, making a tough call, choosing kindness when frustrated, or simply getting out of bed on a difficult day. These are the real victories of a human life. Celebrating them does two magical things. It imprints the success in your brain, making you more likely to repeat it. And it fills your present moment with joy. It shifts your identity from someone always chasing to someone who is already winning. Your unique finish lines are the breadcrumbs of your personal path. Following them with celebration leads you to a deeply satisfied life. Let's design your personal celebration menu. Grab your journal and create a list of small, medium, and large ways to celebrate. Small for daily wins. Dance to one song, savor a special chocolate, tell a friend your win. Medium for weekly, monthly wins. Take a long bath, buy flowers, watch a favorite movie. Large for big milestones. Plan a day trip, have a special meal, take a personal day. The key is to match the celebration to the win, so celebrating becomes a sustainable habit. Post this menu where you can see it. When you cross a finish line, big or small, pick an item from the menu and do it consciously. This ritual trains your brain to seek and recognize success. Now practice finish line finding. At the end of each day, ask yourself, where was my finish line today? Maybe you listened well to a friend. Maybe you started a project you'd been avoiding. Maybe you took a deep breath instead of yelling. Acknowledge it. Say it out loud. Today I finished being brave in that meeting, or today I finished prioritizing my peace. You can write it in a win log. Over time, this log becomes your most precious book, the story of your courage, persistence, and growth. It is undeniable proof that you are moving forward. On hard days, Reddit, you will see a pattern of strength that no single bad day can erase. Share your celebrations and encourage others to share theirs. This creates a culture of acknowledgement, not just achievement. When a friend gets a promotion, celebrate. When they get through a hard day, celebrate that too. Make your relationships arenas for mutual cheering, not silent comparison. This generosity of spirit comes back to you tenfold. As you celebrate others, you normalize celebration for yourself. You build a community that understands that every step forward is a victory. Your joy becomes contagious, and your life becomes a series of shared high fives and satisfied sighs. This is how we build a world where everyone feels on time. Finally, understand that the ultimate finish line is living a life where the journey itself feels like a celebration. When you practice this often, you begin to choose paths that bring you joy, not just achievement. You start to measure your days in moments of gratitude and pride, not just productivity. You realize that being on your own schedule means you are always arriving, always succeeding in some way, right now. Your timeline is decorated with your own personal flags of victory. So keep walking your path, keep setting your own goals, and never, ever forget to throw confetti for yourself along the way. You are writing a glorious story. Celebrate every single page. Conclusion: your time is now. As you close this book, remember that the final period here is not a stop, but a launching point. You now hold the powerful truth that your schedule is a work of art, not a factory timetable. The pressure to rush, compare, and meet borrowed deadlines can finally fall away from your shoulders like an old, heavy coat. You are equipped with tools to listen to your inner voice, celebrate small steps, and build confidence from within. The world will continue to spin at its frantic pace, but you now have the knowledge to move at the rhythm of your own soul. Walk forward with the calm certainty that you are exactly where you need to be. Your journey is valid, your pace is perfect, and your story is always right on time. So take a deep breath and step into your day. Carry this simple mantra in your heart like a compass. I am not late, I am on my own schedule. Let it quiet the noise of doubt and amplify the song of your own potential. Your timeline is a masterpiece in progress, and you are the artist. The next page is blank, and it is yours to fill with dreams, adventures, and quiet joys. Start now, start where you are, start with excitement. There is no one to catch, only a wonderful, one-of-a-kind life to create. Your time, your real, right, and perfect time is finally here. Let's begin.